Okay.
And
Cool.
start watching.
I think you triggered Dirt Truck and J-Luke.
I did.
Kick them, but not us.
Because you two are the scheduled guests.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, so it's live. I'll give it a minute or two to fill. Yeah, Jay looks triggered. And Jay Luke disliked it.
Scrub.
Okay, so
Open up your podcast.
Yeah.
See the beginning part.
this isn't really a podcast. It's more like a presentation of everything and just a discussion. But I didn't know what to call it, so I just called it a podcast.
I mean, I guess a discussion that's broadcast is
Yeah.
pretty much a podcast, I guess. But
Oh, fuck off, 80.
apparently it wasn't J-Luke that disliked.
Yeah, no, it was him and 80. Order truck.
Well, there's 3 dislikes now.
Fucking
Oh no,
cunt.
there's 2 dislikes, 3 likes.
Okay,
Like,
13 people. So, yeah, I don't really think any more people are gonna start watching. OHM drivers suck. So, Lano dropped out, by the way. And I didn't have time to change it, but Lano was a driver. So, that we'll have to
When
fix.
did he say that?
Right when he disconnected on Slack.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, so Lano is no longer driving. When you see his name pop up, that's empty.
So who's going to take his spot?
I
Do you
don't
have
know
someone
yet.
for him? Okay.
I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I'll just fill in after because I'm not making teams for a couple weeks, so it's plenty of time. So, I think 15 people that's good enough to start. I think so. I have the 2 trailers to show off first. So Formula E and then OHM. So, if you guys just want to mute your mic while I showcase those.
yeah, cool.
Okay.
And I'll just tell you when you can come back on. So, we're starting now. Okay, so those were the trailers for Formula E and OHM. You guys can unmute yourself now.
Nice.
What
Hello.
did you guys think about the trailer, first of all?
Which
the
one?
OHM one looks
Yeah,
sick.
OHM one.
Yeah, looks
I-
good.
Yeah, I like it. The music is very Gran Turismo-esque.
I know.
It's nice.
Okay,
And
so
that's nice how you were making your way through the pack with that Dominator.
yeah, I know. Anyways, so fuck off 80, calling it shit. So, what was I gonna start off with? So, how do you guys think the secondary championship went?
It was nice. There was a few moments that were a bit, like spilly. Race 2, round
Yeah,
2.
that was kind of ridiculous.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, I think it was
Especially
good.
the last round that we just finished. That was really good. It worked better than FAEC on Chaparral.
Um,
And it was a nice way to test the
Yeah.
new things and stuff.
yeah. Which I do want to talk about more in depth later. I really have no idea what I'm doing this podcast style thing though. Like I'm just winging it, really. So what we see, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm derping. Fuck's sakes.
Pro.
Oh, okay, so
Professional.
first drivers are showing now. The first view. I did not prepare for the timing, but the first drivers are now showing on the screen. So
Okay.
Boxman and our eventual champion of Neymar was picked, and then Flaming Gun. And if you notice on the spreadsheet, the driver numbers, I did that for a reason. And if you're paying close attention, you'll see there's a theme to that.
Yeah. I
A
can see that.
actual.
Yeah. So if you were looking, you would see certain numbers, and those relate to some of the people who are selected. So I don't know, I was just showing.
Yeah, I can see why I was 10 and why Flaming Gun was 7.
Yeah. So some people are like that, some people are not, but that's just a little thing I did. And you'll see why I did it like that in the highlights videos for the first round. Because I do want to do something special.
Ah, nice.
So now on the screen it's just Alamo C being the first track because it's pretty obvious that it was going to be.
Looking forward to that round. What
know.
class is it going to be?
Sports classics.
What's classic? It said right before it showed.
Oh.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. So there's that. Well, so I'm trying to think. So Neymar won the championship, which means our backup did get a spot, and I won't say who it is, but there was somebody who didn't have a spot before, but they do now. And with Lano dropping out, I don't think it would have mattered anyways now, but anyways. See, I should have really cut down this time for the tracks because I chose too many long tracks and it's just going to be like 2.5 minutes of silence and it's just going to be weird. But,
Wow. It's good.
yeah. I guess we can talk about the main championship. Not the main championship, the secondary championship results in the meantime, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good idea.
So, Neymar won by 2 points. There was
Yeah, it was quite crazy how
That
the
was crazy.
disconnections pretty
Yeah.
much changed the results so much.
Yeah, so just to point this out, if Peppers and Still Game and whoever else, Lano, did not disconnect, Aishin and Nico would have tied points still, but Aishin would have won the championship at that rate.
Wait, Aishan?
Yeah, Aishin tied Nico
Oh,
for
wow.
second,
Yeah, Aishan, yeah.
And because
definitely.
Aishin won a race, he places higher than Nico.
Yeah, well done to Aishan for that as well. Like,
Yeah.
managing to stay
That
ahead
that
of
clutch
everybody. You know,
drive last race,
that was brilliant.
that was clutch. Flaming
Yeah,
finished fourth overall with only 3 races, so he could have easily won if he was just here. Thol came fifth with 3 races as well, so those two did a really good job to play so high despite having one less race than everyone else. And then Axel and Lano were close on points. Peppers lost on the battle for third from disconnecting, same as Lano. Apex became ninth.
Yeah.
And then
I'm kind of happy with that because I had some 2 bad performances. So.
yeah, and then there's just a bunch of people that I really don't feel like naming every single person. But there's one person I do want to call out because I know they're watching. Jamie. 27th place. 18 points.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, very impressive for J. Luke. Round of applause for him.
Slept halfway through one of the
I
races.
think he deserves a spot in the main championship now.
Yeah. Definitely does. So Paga came last because he disconnected, which is quite surprising.
Yeah, I did see that. I was like, how is Pyga so low down?
Yeah.
He missed the last 3 races.
Yeah. So for the team's championship, Templar Motorsports won, which consisted of Flaming and Nico, and they were just miles ahead in points. They had 243 points. Arcadius Motorsports, which consisted of Joker and Thul, had 187. So there was a huge gap for only 4 races. And then Neymar and a bunch of reserves, basically, came third with 177. Ego Chasers came fourth with 168. Globe Oil with 163. Junk Energy with 152. So that was a really close fight for second.
Wow, Ego Chasers really jumped a lot with that last race.
Yeah. But it was pretty close from second to sixth, though. Not far in between each team. And then Coilatus, and then LSPD Racing with Sharat's team beat Finn's team because they have a rivalry for some reason. All thanks to Jamie Jones in that last race. Because they got
something that's different here is that a lot of teams are a lot closer than before with the previous seasons, and that's probably because of the new system as well.
Yeah, the new system has really balanced it out a lot. It could have been better with some people. I feel like Horst would have been better instead of Connor on Ego Chasers.
Yeah.
Pace wise.
Yeah, I'm like 2-3 seconds slower than my channel laps.
Yeah. And probably Sharat and Finn should have been on a team too, I believe.
Yeah, something me and Aishan decided at the beginning of the championship is at the beginning of every race I'd pretty much let him go before me, even if I did manage to get a better start than him like I did on the last race.
Oh.
Just because team strategy wise, it would be better to let him go first because he's faster than me. That was kind of what we did.
Now we have the round 7 track showing on the screen, which is David Bowie Speedway by Flaming. And this will be the race that Bruffy guest drives in.
Oh.
So that should be an extra dynamic to this race.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking of
This is a really good track.
changing it too, because I just was unsure of David Bowie because of the you could just fall off the track easily. And I was thinking of changing it, but then Bruffy said round 7. I was like, okay, I'm not sure if it's the track he liked, or the muscle cars on it, or It was just the date, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep it as it is. Just so that, he doesn't want to change his mind because I changed something. So I left that as it is because of Bruffy. So Flaming, you're lucky. Thanks to Bruffy. Nintendo, Bruffy is guest driving in round 7 for the first time, which would be...
Which classes are going to drive in?
We have yet to talk about that, but I'm going to send him a message once I've decided the teams and starting positions.
Okay.
Because I don't want him starting with people who are either really slow or stupidly fast. So I want him to be balanced, too, with everyone.
Nintendo said F620 for Ruffy to use.
Well, if the F620 was in the muscle class, I would say yes, but it's not. So, rip that hope. But yeah, so that should be interesting.
Buffy's going to want to drive the Dominator race car, so you might have to change the GT1 car.
No, because Dominator race cars just aids. Oh, and then J-Luke was driving.
Oh yeah.
Very unpopular decision.
Number 11.
J-Luke.
Yeah. The thing is, though, basically everybody who replied to my message basically got in. Because not enough people either said yes, or because quite a lot of people also said no. So those who said yes got in, basically. And there were a couple spots I just had to fill, which I'm not really happy about. But I don't have much of a choice with that for now. Which sucks. That was a fun race. So what was I?
That's brilliant.
So I want to talk about the driver selection process more in depth now, since I was thinking about it, and it's on my notes. So, what people knew was stage 1 and 2, and that was it. So stage 1 was just signing up through either the Google form or just asking me, basically.
Yeah.
And then stage 2 is when I sent the message to 32 people asking if they would like to join. Or, no, not if they like to join, if they still could, and if they would like to be a cameraman or whatever if they weren't eventually selected. And then stage 3 was getting all those people and then deciding to trim the fat from that. But stage 4, which would have been the final stage, did not end up happening because there weren't enough people who said yes to where I would have to trim any fat from that group.
So what was stage 4 going to be then?
It was basically deciding the final 23, not counting me.
Okay. I thought there was going to be some kind of complex system.
No, it's not that sophisticated. But yeah.
And then,
OHM Season 4 on ovals, for fuck's sake, Flaming. Sorry, that was that. What else I want to talk about?
I want to know how this track is made. There's so many props used. How is this?
Because all of them would have been just the track pieces sent to a template.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
But so that was the driver selection process, and I want to talk about more of the new system and the idea I had that may work or may not work. Because
Axel just came up with.
Yeah, the one I just came up with in the middle of the race.
Okay.
So the old idea that I've been using since the first ever OHM race is gathering up all the lap times and adding them to whatever the set amount of laps is, and just using it from that. This time around I wanted to try and balance it more per pace, so I tried to guesstimate where people would be pacing at. And it worked sometimes it didn't, but it was a lot better than the old way of doing things, I think.
Yeah, especially also since in the previous seasons there could have been like huge gaps between teammates, and then one person would just have no chance.
A bit like what happened with me and Aishan this.
It was a lot worse,
even worse
last season with Nema and Horst, for example, in Macy, because Horst got lapped in the compacts round by Nema and Macy. So it did happen this season though with Spilly and Scourge, but those are two special cases I would rather not discuss about.
After he crashed like twice, he completely stopped taking it seriously and was just driving like an idiot. Like he wasn't even on the racing line half the time that I could see.
He was just.
I do think the teams could have been a little better for the secondary, but that was also just a case of people dropping out and reserves and things like that.
Like in the last race, I just like gave up on trying. Like. I felt about as exhausted as I did last season, and I wasn't even racing this time.
Oh, right.
So it's like, the main championship's not going to be any better. It's going to be just twice as long and hard and worse in every single way possible. Which won't be fun for me.
I mean, you kind of won't have to do as much. Well, I guess you'll still have to do quite a bit, but you'll have someone else kind of starting the race and kind of like taking that part of it, so we take a bit of the stress away from you.
Well, that's the easiest part, though. That's just like setting people off at a set time.
I guess so, yeah. Like the rest of it is like getting the time sorted, all the testing of the cars, the hot lapping maneuver or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
All the many questions you get.
What I want to get though is just a team of people to help me with that, though. Because before it was just me and Murphos for round 1. And then Axel just started helping last round.
Well, basically only because I like the track.
Oh.
I mean, I would help, but I'm not on pace with you guys, so it's kind of a bit... I mean, it could help for some of the slower drivers, like, oh, this is the lap time that I would be getting, so some of the slower drivers, you can kind of see the average between the faster and the slower drivers.
Yeah. Like, it's just so hard to do it by myself. Like, if I had other people to help me out with it, the more the better, I'd say, because it's just easier on me to do.
Well, when you get like 6 teams with, or 6 groups, then and all of them are about the same pace, then you only really need one of those from each group to give you a lap time, and that's basically all you need.
Yeah, but having more people saying what is possible or what is the limits of the track is better, because then I have more to go off of in terms of people pace-wise, instead of just my own pace and my own understanding of the track limits, where some people may have more understanding than me. Which was...
Nympharius just said he would help, and Nico said he could help as well.
Did they?
Yeah, they both just said in chat they can do it.
Okay. Well, that'd be really helpful, because I'm gonna need it.
Yeah, I mean, if you need it, then I can always jump in and help as well. Like, I don't have any problem with that.
It's just like, especially with probably the first round, it's gonna be the hardest because it's a city track, and there's so many variables that can happen with bumps and the cars being used and all that. So I'm hoping that my GT1 pick of the Zentorno will do good with the bumps. I'm hoping, because I'm driving it, so I better do good.
Lil.
Which is
Zentorno on too good.
Well,
Pagorobert also said he can help as well.
Everybody's saying they can help.
Yeah, now you've asked for it, everybody's like, I can help.
I know. I should have just asked in season 1.
Guys, just so you know what you're in for if you do start helping, you need to test every car for every round, or at least majority of cars for the majority of rounds. Just so you have an average pace. Everybody's going to be like, nah, I'm out now.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Or at least just all cars for a a certain round, that also just helps.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like
if you don't have the money to buy all the cars for all the rounds, then it's not a problem. But yeah,
there's going to be rounds
helpful.
that are relatively inexpensive though, like sedans and
That is true.
coupes,
That is true.
SUVs, classes
And
like
most
those.
people have a lot of supercars and sports cars.
So I'm hoping those won't be an issue. Supercars is the one I'm most concerned about though. Because the track of Hookadrome, if you guys were watching, and Twat Raceway earlier,
I do like it.
Didn't mention, but this one will be the hardest one to test for, I think, in my opinion, because of just
the amount of variables.
Yeah.
And the length of the lap as well.
Because it's rather long.
But the good thing about long tracks, and I think we saw that today as well, is that you can make the gaps a lot more accurate.
Yeah.
From a long lap.
Because there's less variables in the racing situation that can determine how people catch up, how fast they can, how much traffic they're facing, which is something you have to find a good mix for in OHM.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more effort testing long tracks, but I think it'll pay off.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, so more drivers now. So Dirt Truck was picked, and his connection better have improved since
he's going back to England.
Yeah, he's moving back to the UK at some point, so hopefully it should be. Hopefully, won't be on the bar with the laggy internet.
I'm waiting for Paga.
Paga's gonna go mental.
I know. I'm waiting for his reaction.
Asking for so long. Oh wow, Paga's number 21.
Yeah. I said it before about the driver numbers.
I didn't realise what it is though, and then I realised when I saw Paga's number on the end of his name and then the number of the driver.
Yeah. So some people are... Oh, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. Or just waiting for Paga to slide me to my DMs.
Paga just said on stream, oh my god, it's your boy.
I was waiting for that.
Paga's like hyped so much now.
No. So I guess we can talk about quickly the evolution of 1 Hour Magic. Because that's definitely something we can talk about since we're still here.
Yep.
So it all started on the Nürburgring. How fitting that I'm showing the Nürburgring, the new track.
Yeah, that's
at
true.
This moment in time. Yeah, the irony.
Is this, by any chance, is this shot I choke in? Is my choke in this shot?
I don't know. Oh, no, that wasn't you, that was Shady Fruit.
No, the next Phelps to come through, I think, chokes.
That's you. Oh, no, you didn't choke.
Me.
Oh, no, that one's you. Yeah.
Lol. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Lol. It started off on the Nürburgring with the Bullet, the Turismo, the Osiris, the Adder, I forget what else was in that race, Infernus and Cheetah. And it was very close at the end for a first 1 Hour Match race where I had no idea what I was doing. It was probably one of the best races. Because Peppers...
I have no idea what happened in that race because I was a scrub and forgot to show up to it.
No, I don't think you signed up for the very first race. You signed up to season 1.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know I think in season 1.
Around back then.
No, you
weren't. Was the first race in season 1 or was it just like a solo test event?
It was the test event, the first one.
Oh, okay, yeah, I wasn't in that then.
Yeah, so I remember Dr. Pepper's winning in the Cheetah, getting the last lap overtake over V12 in the Adder. And then... Yeah, they overtook me in the last lap too. And then Sean Nickerson and the Turismo also got me on the last lap. So it's probably one of the closest old races, I would say. Probably the best on PS3.
I think the Nürburgring race later on PS4, the one-off event, that was also a very good one.
Yeah. That was a very weird race in a way, for the way it played out in Season 2 as well, because I didn't do the gaps testing for round 8 because I figured that one-off event proved it, that I could just work off of that. And boy, I was wrong.
Yeah.
The Osiris's were just really, really OP that day.
Okay.
And I think it was more to do with the physics update with the cunning stunts than...
Well, the Osiris was very OP as well in the one-off event, apart from Nismo being in the Avernus.
Yeah, but a 4:16 lap time jumping to a 4:11. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, true.
Like,
he's gonna go mental. He's in.
You know.
Ultimate sucker.
But oh yeah, this is my new hills track, by the way. That's on the screen. That will be used in OHM in sedans.
Nice.
I did want to change it to supers or sports or something like that, but
This is a nice track. This is a good track.
I think sedans just suit the hills, honestly. Just because
They are nice.
like, even though it would be boring, and I'm going to admit that it's going to be a boring race for people who are lonely, but it's just a very enjoyable experience driving in the hills in a sedan.
Sedans are just nice to drive in general because they're a challenge. The rear end of them likes to step out quite a bit, especially with the shafter because it's long. The rear end just bounces and flies everywhere.
So it should be a very interesting race, that one, because of the fact that people are going to get bored rather quickly, and it's going to be the people who can stay focused that entire race. Those are going to be the people who win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting because,
but, like, I feel like focus in general is a big part of OHM because even if you're not driving by yourself, you still have to deal with the slower or faster cars around you. Like,
yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like, you have to deal with them to be able to do well in your class.
And the thing is like you have to literally be quick and hit those benchmark times to...
You have to be really consistent as well to win with the chance if you're in one of the slower classes, even the faster classes as well.
Like, Aishin today was just incredibly consistently quick.
Yeah, he was stupidly fast.
Yeah, like he was hitting the benchmark time basically spot on. We had a 56 lap.
Yeah,
and he 55.7, right? For his best lap, so... It wasn't the time, it was his consistency that got him to win.
Yeah, he just pulled away. Like, at the start, me and Aishan just pulled off, got into first and second, and then he just ended up pulling away from, like, me, Facture, and... Me, Facture, and Horst.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I couldn't keep up with him at all.
Yeah, what I also said to... Sorry. No, I said to someone that the bullets do really have a chance because the other GTs are so close. So those are going to be battling and the bullets can just stay consistent.
Yeah, the Vodka Sultan battle looked really good for quite a while.
Yeah, I lost a lot of time from that.
And then Jamie at the very end caught up to Nico in the last few laps and they were battling, it looked like. And that looked like it really paid off for the bullets because they didn't have any issues with that. But neither did Nefarious, and Nefarious was really quick too. Which was something that caught me off guard was Neymar in the last two races. Because he was really good in rounds 1 and 2. And then 3 and 4, he just... I don't know what happened with him, but he got 9th in both races.
He probably wasn't as prepared.
Yeah, possibly.
See, there's a problem here. Me and AJ were both in the race, so we weren't really concentrating on, or in the races, so we weren't really concentrating on who else, or how everyone else was doing, so it's a bit hard for us to kind of have an opinion on stuff we didn't really see, if that makes sense.
I was only really paying attention to the Sultans and the Fakas and
yeah,
Jamie Jones.
Fair news.
But something that I noticed, no one else probably noticed, but Ben Storm, the penetrator, didn't unlap himself until maybe the second or third last lap, it looked like. Which was very odd. Because there's a huge gap difference between the two.
That's also something that I was thinking about, because I think Shura and Jamie are obviously a lot faster, and
yeah,
I think that should be improved in the main championship.
Yeah, it will be improved, because I'm thinking of doing a testing of each driver, doing like maybe a hot lapping session, so we get more balanced teams. Oh, and by the way, all these laps I did in these track showcases were done in one take. So this Huntley choke that's just about to pop up on stream, I choked quite a bit this lap, I will be honest.
Well done.
So.
Oh wow, just
yeah.
into the back.
I did want to mention it earlier, but I forgot to because I was thinking of other things. Fuck's sake.
You should have tried harder.
I know. I was just doing one lap. I didn't do two. I did all 8 tracks in one go. One lap each.
Wow.
Last week, I think.
Were they like in a playlist, just doing?
Yeah, I was in a playlist.
Wow.
And I did all at once, basically. No second takes, and I choked quite a bit this lap, so.
Grub can't drive.
It's the Huntley, I swear. That's why I'm not driving it.
It's the Huntley. Blame all on the car.
Yeah, it's the Huntley, I swear. But something I do want to talk about is why I chose my own cars instead of just letting it randomly be chosen.
Because you're a scrub.
That, basically. with all the work I do, I need to paint my cars in time for the race.
Mm.
And I don't play this game often enough to want to do that in a month's time. So just because I have my cars now doesn't mean it's set in stone, because I do want to change the SUVs around, because I have the Contender and XLS, which are cancer and just death, and I want to change them so those won't be GT1 2 anymore. So my SUV is changing to something else. I don't know what yet, but it's going to be something else than what I think was the Radius that's currently GT4.
Hopefully something not rigged.
I don't know. We'll see, but...
So, something that I find interesting is that you picked Wiz Raceway, or Wiz Wagon Way, I can't say W's in quick succession, but I wouldn't have picked this track because of the tight section that goes in between the buildings. I really am not a fan of that. Like,
yeah. Like,
I don't like it.
It worked really good in the weekly endurance race, though. The first race we had with 30 people to finish, which was a miracle.
That's true. Fair enough. I mean, if it works, it works. You can't deny that.
Yeah, and OHM is not as tight, too, so it worked.
Yeah, that's true.
Just as good.
We're all separated for we're separated from the beginning of the race. There's no first lap aids or first 2 laps. Oh, confirms himself.
Yeah. Of course, I'd be driver 44. Where else would I be?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, he was in FAEC, but he stopped racing.
Yeah.
So.
You know how I said there were some people who I had to just put in to have that spots? My coming back was one of those people.
Fair enough.
So I'm going to have to message him after about it, because he probably doesn't even know that I got selected.
That could be a problem, because he might not be able to make the actual thing then if he doesn't know. People like Urtaza and Ultimate Saka, I think, who have connection issues at the moment. I'm giving them 2 weeks to basically fix it,
and we'll see what we have then. And if they need to drop out, then drop out then, and we can just find a replacement, no issue there. So, I'm expecting a few dropouts from now to in between when I pick the teams, which is perfectly fine.
Ultimate Sucker said, I'm gonna fix it, damn it. Lol.
Yeah. So now we have Connor's favorite track, the only track he's gonna sweat for.
This could be interesting.
Like, I didn't even sweat my track when it was in FAEC. Like,
well, you should have.
I sweated. I should have, yeah, because I did shit. I'm gonna sweat every track for OHM though, because I actually want to do well in the championship for once.
As long as you can get a top 9 finish again, you'll be good.
Yeah, I'm surprised in the secondary I got top 10. To be fair, when I saw that last round last week, I looked at this stand and was like, "Fuck, I'm 10th. How the fuck have I done that?"
Magic, that's how.
Yeah, somehow I did it.
I think this is going to be a nice round because the off-roads round in Season 2 was also very good on the Grapeseed track.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite race overall, I would say, in Season 2.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
it was just it's so enjoyable in a brawler too, and I feel like I wanted to keep off-roads and Grapeseed because Grapeseed and off-roads are just a really good combination, I found. So I was gonna have Mackenzie in again, but then Apex came back alive at some point after that, and then Banco Fiore was updated, and it's just really good now. So, and plus it would give a little bit more for the brawler in terms of gap to a Bifta, whereas last season it was 0.2 seconds or something like that. Now it's going to be a little bit more because of the extra straights, which is good.
Yeah, I was stuck on PS3. I didn't have a PS4.
Yeah.
And then
Scrap.
got a PS4 and came away. Yeah, Flaming. I love how purple my track is. Don't hate. Embrace the purple.
I'm waiting for
So,
it.
Oracle
Yeah, Oracle.
and Apex.
So Lionel's coming up next. I know because I get to see 10 seconds ahead of you guys. But the spot is now open because Lionel dropped out. So
I think my number should be 14. Then.
I was thinking that because of your forum name, but
Yeah, I have 14 on everything that can't just be 18.
yeah, but I didn't want to have like 10, 11, 13, 14. That's just too rapid in succession and too obvious if anybody was looking at the spreadsheet and basically had an idea what I was doing with it. Because I don't know if anybody picked up on that either, to be honest. If they at all looked at the spreadsheet.
I didn't pick up on it until I saw Tiger's name pop up.
Oh, I noticed it when I saw my name and Flaming.
Yeah, I did that on purpose a long time ago today on the spreadsheet. And nobody noticed on the spreadsheet. Or at least said anything about it.
I want to see this now.
Because there are still some numbers left. But there are also some people who didn't get a number yet. So some people are probably getting anxious because we're getting pretty high numbers. Which should be fun to watch, the chat.
Yeah, how many people do we still have to go?
I think only 4 are left at this stage.
Oh.
I think. Let me check. I have a counter here somewhere. Yeah, I think the first 21 names have been... Or first 20.
We'll get 69.
I was gonna choose 69. And then, I don't know why I didn't. I regret that decision immediately. Connor, you're number 69 now.
Oh my god.
I was just thinking who's closest, and I was like Connor.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to mention though, my original pick for number 72 was Macy, but he didn't respond to my message. So I had to pull him out and swap him with Lano. And then Lano dropped out after the race and then ruined everything. And now there's an empty spot.
Hopefully he'll reply.
Well, you know, there's still hope for people who are yet to reply. They can still get that open spot. So, you know. And everybody who is not mentioned, by the way, and after this, because there's only a few people left right after this, if you aren't mentioned and you're watching, you will just go onto the reserve and waiting list. Unless you ask to just be a reserve or just on the waiting list or whatever you want to do. But, oh look, our season, did I say? No, it's in bit. So, the season 2 champion is returning.
Oh.
So it should be interesting to see if we can do it twice in a row.
Mm.
So that's all the drivers. After you guys see who's next. So Bertazza gets the last
Number
spot.
99. Finishing off.
So I guess I'll mention my plans with that, I guess, since I'm thought about it. So I don't know how it is in other racing sports, because I don't watch any other than NASCAR, because, you know, I don't have those channels in my life.
Wait, you don't know how what works?
Like other motorsports, how they keep track of the results on screen mid-race. So I was thinking of having...
It's basically, they just have like a column with all the driver's name and their position next to it.
Okay.
Like, it's just a line on the left screen, on the left side of the screen with all the drivers' names. Literally like how we do it, whilst, like, you know, after a race is finished, we tally up the names in the order of the championship. They basically just put that on the left side of the screen, but have it so it switches during the race.
What I'm thinking of doing for video coverage is having the spectator footage from secondary championship will be mine, of course, and then cameraman from rounds 1 through 8 in the main championship, and have everybody's name scroll by, and then how far they are behind the leader, and their driver number would be in that too, so they have some relevance too.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
And I thought that would be cool to try and do. I'm going to try and do it for the round 2 recap, because I can't do commentaries anymore. I'm going to do it for round 1, because I already have the video made. I just have to do the commentary for it. But for round 2 and 3 and 4, I'm going to try and do it like that. And it should be interesting to try and edit, because that's a lot of editing to do just for that though. But it does save a little bit of time not having to prepare for a script or anything, or get multiple perspectives at once and sync that up. I just have to basically get a stopwatch in time and then type it all out. But it should be fun to do.
That's gonna be annoying to do.
Yeah, it's gonna be annoying writing everybody's name multiple times, but you know, it should be fun.
Hopefully.
Nico, I can replace, but only as last choice. Well, I'm gonna wait for messages to come back before I make any decisions. I'm probably gonna let this sit for a week and then start working on OHM again, because I deserve a week off. So
give you a break to get rid of all the stress from this secondary championship.
All the stress
and
needs to go.
And just chill for a week and then
And then once I'm chilled out, relaxed, and I can just do the Hunger Games event next week, I'll start working on it again. And I'll fix the issues with the driver's situation that appeared out of nowhere. But, I'm not worried about it yet, thankfully.
So how's the process going to be with selecting the teams and the cars and all that?
So the cars is just going to basically be randomized somewhat, basically. I'm probably going to choose for the first race what I want people to drive. That's how I did in the secondary championship. It's like, what class do I want this person to be in, just to see what it would be like for that race. And then the way everything's just automatically systemized, it just chose for the other 3 races. And it's going to be probably the same thing. So, one thing I do have to mention is everybody will be in 2 repeating classes for those who drive in all 8 races. So, I'm in GT1 twice because I want to drive the Brawler and the Zentorno. And I think I'm in GT5 twice to balance it out, or something like that. Something like that. I don't remember exactly, but rounds 6 and 7 are repetitive classes, and then round 8, to keep it fresh, is your 6th class you haven't been in yet. So, it should be interesting having that dynamic also. And then teams, I have to add everybody to the PSN chat, but I'm going to probably organize a day and have all the sign-ups do a hot lapping session on a track and choose it by lap time, basically.
Can we do it on my track, because it's the only track I'm good at hot lapping?
No. It's probably... I don't know if I want to make a track in OHM. Probably not. But it's going to be a track. I don't know yet, but I'm probably going to give a week's notice. Actually, no, I think I'll give maybe a day notice. I think I'll just set a date and a time, and then people can learn the track, and I'll probably give like 20 laps or something to hot lap for that purpose.
It'd be interesting to see like who gets what times.
I'm back.
Can you ban that guy in your chat?
What
Yeah,
guy?
this drafty guy is spamming so much. Drafty J.
I'm not even
GJ.
looking.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's like spamming like every 2 or 3 minutes. He just puts a line of shit that doesn't even make any sense.
Okay, well,
Not even speaking English.
yeah. Can I ban him? Remove. Put user in timeout. Sure.
Rex.
Yay!
Well, I didn't even know I could do that.
Message to me. Brilliant.
But I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about. I don't know what else there's left to cover.
Did we go through all the tracks?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Did we go through all the tracks?
Yeah, we did. That's why we're looking at footage of season 3 secondary, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah. Were you did you already decide on Skyline Raceway?
No, I said last night that I was unsure on a couple of tracks. Skyline is one of those still. But I have like 2 weeks to get everything officially sorted. And my footage ran out. Fuck.
Rip.
That's okay though. It's the freeze frame of the Panto. That's all good. But there are still a couple of tracks that I do want to finalize. And there's one track I'm working on that actually might be better than Skyline that I was just making today. So we'll have to
Which
see.
track is that?
It's a brand new track actually. It's nothing. No, not a remake. Not nothing. Completely.
Not a remake. It's not a good track then, is it? Is it? If it's not nothing.
But I think that's everything. That really.
I think so. Is there anything else you want to go over? Like maybe like some things that are different, like in a big way to last season, or
Oh yeah, the extra teams I think is something we can just quickly go through. Because there's 2 teams per class this time, instead of 1 team per class. Which added an extra dynamic of more people you're racing against at all times.
yeah, it gives you a little bit more to battle over.
Yeah. And it shows quite a bit, though. Like, there were really good battles between people.
Yeah.
Like, Aaron and Thor were really close.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
When they came past me, they were really close, and then Aaron choked.
Like, I'm trying to think. Like, the entire Salting group, like, that entire foursome, the entire championship was really close. Of those 2 teams. Of Nico, Flaming, Neymar, and whoever else was racing those times. Lenny and Oracle and whoever else. I don't remember. Fachiro, no, not so much, but still. Those were really close battles, basically, those races.
Yeah, there were some close battles in the championship. I think it was round 3 of the secondary. There was a really close battle for first, like quarter of the way through, or 3/4 of the way through the race. Between, I can't remember who it was, Dr. Peppers and someone.
And Aishin.
Which was close.
Stilgan.
Yeah.
And Stilgan too, yeah. But also, round 2 is probably one of the closest finishes I've ever seen between Thol and
that was
Flaming.
Close.
But that's probably one of the best races. And I'd say probably one of the best races in the championship. Probably with round 4 too.
It was a close race.
In terms of balance,
it
was probably the best, in my opinion. But round 4 is pretty good too, in that aspect.
Yeah. Aishan was just on point.
Yeah, I was actually doubting the T20s when I was sending them off. And then they finished
were quite far
5th and
behind,
6th. So it's like, okay, not so much now.
If you had set them off like 10-20 seconds earlier, they probably could have got a bit higher up.
Yeah,
they were
like probably
half a second or half a minute behind Aishan by the end. So
yeah, they did pretty good though. Aaron and Thol.
Surprised Aaron enjoyed it so much. Like after FAEC, he said he was done with competitive racing in events and shit, and then he joins this and loves it.
Yeah. Maybe Aaron could fill that final spot. Who knows? Maybe. Who knows? But I'm just gonna let that sit for a week.
To have him in as well.
Because there's quite a lot of sync representatives too. All of a sudden.
Yeah, there are quite a few.
Nefarious, Neymar, Bucksman, me, now because I'm in sync.
Aaron in, that would be another person.
Like, and Aaron was in today, too. Oracle. So quite a few sync guys are joining. Which is adding an extra dynamic between crews that are joining events.
Yeah.
Which is something I really like.
It's kind of,
because it feels
kind of
like
a bit
it's
of
more
a downside on the forums as it puts it in the crew part, and
but at the same time it feels like a more open event and more accepting.
Like I don't see why events that go in the Nodo part, like, or just in general events that you put up, if they are open to all crews, I don't see why they get put in the crew v crew, because it's not really a crew v crew unless stated. Like, this isn't a crew v crew. It's like a standard.
Yeah, it's a standard run event, except we allow people not like specifically in Nodo.
Like in FAEC, there was no rules against crews that you had to be in.
Yeah, and weekly endurance races are like that too.
Yeah, that's true. All of my events have been, like, all of the events I've taken part in, as far as I'm aware, have been like
just in general
crew.
Open to anyone.
Yeah, like, I've seen so many people from like team or whatever and events I've done,
Yeah.
and they haven't been in the crew part of the forum, which is really confusing why they do that with OHM.
I think it's also because people have to be selected. I think that's one of the reasons that they put it in the multi-crew section.
Maybe. It could be.
I don't understand that, though, still. I don't get it.
Well, that's generally not really something Nodo allows.
Yeah. But in general, hosting more than one event isn't allowed, but yeah, I'm allowed to host 4 at once.
Yeah.
Literally, like Formula Apex, Nürburgring Festival, Weekly Endurance Race, and 1 Hour Magic. All at once. And they do a thing. Which is kind of...
Brady sucks some dicks to get.
But they also know that I can
just lost your
manage.
Monetization.
But the commissioners know I can manage this type of stuff, though. Hosting, like, 25 events at once. Which I probably could do. Let's face it.
I like to see you do it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you've got to do it now to prove it. You know that.
25 events at once.
3 events a day for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I would blow my brains out after that. Oh, something I do want to talk about that's no longer related to 1 Hour Magic is the weekly endurance spreadsheet has been updated with the all-time stats. Which is something I thought was very interesting to implement.
It must have been a lot of work.
It was, actually. It took like 4 hours to do. And as, expected, Brady's weekly endurance races are being won by Brady. Because I've only missed 1. And I'm the only one with 26 races come on Friday. Which means I have no life, basically.
Pretty much.
Yep. But,
well, I guess we can say that about all people who have more than 15.
Yeah. I think there's only 4 people with 20. I know you and Nico have 20 on the dot. I think J. Luke has 2.
Yeah, J. Luke.
Yeah. And he still hasn't won any. Which is shamed upon. But I think I'm going to end the podcast now because I think we're just...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Talking about everything else.
We're not even on topic anymore. Fucking talking about Brady's weekly endurance race.
Yeah.
Seems legit. Start a podcast about OHM. Start talking about Brady's weekly.
Yeah. Next on Brady's YouTube live stream, the Brady's Weekly Endurance Podcast.
Wow.
No, but yeah, this is it now. I'm ending it.
Cool.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Scrubs.